Today we're going to talk about how to write for compare and contrast. So let's look at the following sentences and try to figure out what is the purpose of each. Although soul and hip-hop both spring from the same African American roots, there are very different musical expressions. In my family, personality traits are said to skip a generation, so that might explain why my grandfather and I have so much in common. So if you take a look at our first sentence, hip-hop and soul spring from the same African American roots, that's a comparison. There's a contrast in the second part of the sentence. They are very different musical expressions, so you're comparing and contrasting in the same sentence. Whereas in the second sentence, we're just doing a comparison. In my family, personality traits are said to skip a generation, so that might explain why my grandfather and I have so much in common. Just a comparison. So what is the difference between comparing and contrasting? How do we define them? Well, to compare is to highlight similarities between otherwise very different things, ideas, and people. To contrast is to highlight the differences between otherwise very similar things, ideas, and people. So notice the change in the definitions here. Comparing is highlighting similarities between things that are different. To contrast is to highlight the differences between things that are the same. So comparing and contrasting is not pointing out obvious similarities and differences. Those things most people already know. You shouldn't be just concentrating on the obvious. Now, whether a person is comparing or contrasting, ultimately it's one's concern in writing that you should be providing insight into a significant topic. Again, the obvious doesn't need to be shown. So how do we begin to organize a comparison or a contrast essay? There are two major patterns that most essays will take. The first one is known as the block essay, where you're discussing all of one comparison and then all of the other comparison, or you're discussing all of the contrast in one point and then all of the contrasts in the other. Usually we call this the AAA and the BBB method, where everything of this one particular event or this one particular object is discussed first, and then all of the other particular objects or events are discussed. Now, the block method is best for short essays or maybe just the one paragraph, or when the topics are being compared and contrasted are not complex issues. The other point, the one that we usually see being used, is the point-by-point method for a comparison or contrast essay. This is when you'd kind of look at your body paragraphs in an A-B, A-B, A-B method. So you're breaking down the essay by points of comparison or contrast, and you're looking at each item relative to that point before moving on to the next. So when you take a look at one similarity, you're going to be discussing both Part A and Part B. You're going to be looking at another similarity or contrast, but you're looking at Point A and Point B together. Now, this is best used for longer or more complex issues. However, both of these methods can also be combined in an essay that both compares and contrasts. Maybe you want to do the comparisons with your block method, and then maybe you want to do a point-by-point method in your final paragraphs. The most important thing to keep in mind when you're setting out to compare or contrast is ultimately you are crafting an argument. You're trying to convince somebody of the comparisons or convince somebody of the contrasts. So what is an argument? Well, an argument is a claim that someone believes should or should not be true, such as kids should be in school Monday through Saturday. Now, a claim by itself is not enough. You have to be able to convince people why your claim is true. And you're going to do this by using warrants and backing. You're going to do this by using evidence. So how do we create that claim? Well, an argument that you have on a given subject is your claim. For example, your thesis or your main idea when you write. So say, for example, you have the question, what does freedom mean to you? Your explanation of that would become your thesis and therefore your claim. You also need the backing. You have to support it with facts if you want people to believe you. That could easily be evidence from the text. You could also do things like go out and survey people. Usually when you're writing in a classroom setting, it usually is evidence from some sort of text. Now, that evidence must be explained in your analysis. You must provide reasons or underlying beliefs that connect your evidence to the claim. Now, these beliefs and explanations are known as warrants or backing to your argument. A lot of times, if you can also consider the opposing point of view, you're going to create what is known as a counterclaim. That means you're making a valid argument against your side, but doing this will make your own argument stronger. It shows the reader you've considered all sides before settling down on your own position. So if you can attack your own weakest point and show why it's not a weak point, that is a counterclaim. You want to consider all points of view, including your own. Turn against your argument, challenge it, and then reaffirm your position. If you're looking at the opposing side, maybe you might want to ask yourself, who might disagree with your position and why? What reasons do people have for disagreeing with me? And what evidence would support an opposing argument? If you answer all three of these questions, you've got a great counterclaim. And then, of course, once you look at the counterclaim, if you feel you've filled out those questions, if you can turn back to your original position and then respond and refute, disprove the issues that are presented in your counterclaim, this will remind the reader that your original claim, the one that you want to convince them of, is stronger and more logical than the counterclaim. So when you start writing, how do I go about starting to create these paragraphs? How do I go about starting to give them my evidence? Usually you're looking for key phrases, especially in the counterclaim and the rebuttals. So maybe perhaps you want to say one might object that, or it might seem that, or it's true that. So there's lots of key phrases where you can start off by talking about the points, and then you can come in on the right-hand side with the other words like but, yet, however, and refute or make your counterclaim. For example, your claim for your comparing and contrasting might be more Americans are choosing low-carb diets because the media promotes low-carb diets as the new way to a healthier lifestyle. Maybe your counterclaim would be, some Americans do not watch television commercials because they own a DVR or TiVo, but most Americans are exposed to other forms of advertising in magazines, newspapers, and highway billboards. Now, what is the organization of a well-crafted argument? Usually you want to do an introduction, and notice the conclusion is also at the end. And then usually you want to have three main points that you do. If you remember back to our AB method or our all block method where you had an AAA and then a BBB, those kind of sound like you have three different claims, three different paragraphs. Now here I have four because you might want to counterclaim and do a rebuttal. The rebuttal is not necessary, it's optional. So maybe perhaps you would start off with your introduction paragraph and then claim 1 and claim 2. Again, if you are doing point by point, that would be AB, where you're showing the 2 points opposite each other. Maybe claim 1 and claim 2, your paragraphs are in the block method, where claim 1 is all about one of your points or one of your events, and then claim 2 is all about the other points or the other events. And then your counterclaim, and if necessary, your rebuttal, takes a look at the opposing point of views, and then finally your conclusion. Now, it's true that counter-arguments enrich argumentative writing, but be careful, be cautious. Don't give your opposing viewpoints a side to make them stronger. So if you are doing your counterclaim and rebuttal, make sure your rebuttal is strong. Adding a weak counter-argument or overdoing it can actually cause a negative response from your audience, so be cautious. So when we create an effective claim, maybe perhaps our example here would be a good one, but you might want to look at the other side as well. For example, it is better for students to go school year-round rather than for 9 months at a time. So now that you've made that effective claim and you're going to be doing a contrast, you might want to try to come up with as many warrants or reasons as to why this claim is either true or untrue. Because you're making contrasts, you're going to have to look at both sides. Then you're going to come up with the ideas for the other side, otherwise known as the counterclaim. If you need some transitions between your paragraphs, if you're doing comparisons, because we've just walked through all the contrasts, there are good transitions for comparison paragraphs as well. Maybe perhaps start your sentences or even your entire paragraph with these words. How about also, in addition to, as well as, similarly, both or neither, each of, or in the same way. And again, some transitions for contrast. We've seen them before with the claim and counterclaim, but here they are again. Although, whereas, maybe start your sentences with however or in contrast to. And other contrasting words would be while, unlike, or conversely. Some last thoughts on comparison and contrast is making certain that your topic for comparison and contrast is allowing for meaningful discussion and analysis. Avoid both apples and apples and apples and oranges. Remember, once again, the obvious doesn't need to be compared and contrasted. Make sure you have meaningful discussion and meaningful points to give. Decide on a clear organizational pattern that will showcase your ideas and points. Sometimes it's just easier to use the block method. Give all of your points on your first block A, give all of your points on first block B, and just get out of your essay. That's usually better for the shorter paragraphs and essays. Otherwise, that point-by-point method, A, B, A, B, A, B, going into claim number 1, claim number 2, and a counterclaim and a rebuttal. Make sure you have a clear organizational pattern. That's going to help get your ideas across clearly. Lastly, remember you are doing a comparison and or a contrast essay. Be sure that you have compared and contrasted the same points for each item. Sometimes people will do comparisons and they'll forget to do the opposite side. Sometimes they'll contrast and one side seems stronger than the other. Make sure that you've done a comparison and contrast. Compare and contrast the same points. Thanks so much for stopping by for comparison and contrast. If you liked the video, please leave a like. Give me some comments if you'd like to learn about anything else. And also, if you could subscribe to the channel, I'd appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by.